guys, so it's time for my April wrap-up. And before April started, I was really planning to take a break from pressuring myself to finish another big book really quickly in order to get to the next one, because it was my birthday month and it was a really good birthday, and it's also the month that I was planning to start playing Breath of the Wild. But I still did get some reading done, and I finished 4 books. The first one is Lumberjanes, Volume 4, Out of Time. So this was one that I had actually owned already for several months and had already lent out to a friend, but hadn't read myself yet. So when I realized that, I decided I should go ahead and read it. And of course, I really like this series, so this was a 5-star rating from me. The next one I read was yet another book about hygge, and this one is called The Cozy Life. And after I finished reading it, I learned that apparently it's the very first book about hygge, and it's the one that had the most holds at my library, so I figured it must be pretty popular, but then upon reading it, it really appeared and did end up being a self-published book with some odd spelling errors and stuff like that, and just not very well visually put together compared to the other hygge books I've read. So I feel kind of bad for the author because she probably didn't make as much money as the newer books on hygge, and I didn't really learn anything new about hygge, so I feel by this time I have a well-rounded view of what hygge really is. And I'll talk about why I read so many books about hygge in a separate video later on sometime about hygge itself. The next book was a book that I requested my library purchase, and that is Penguin the Magpie, The Odd Little Bird Who Saved a Family by Cameron Bloom. And you might recognize this from a pretty popular Instagram called Penguin the Magpie. And I had been following this Instagram for about a year or so, and then realized that they were putting out a book. And when I read the book, I also realized there was a whole nother level to the meaning of their story. As it turns out, one of the family members was involved in a very tragic accident, and it's a story of healing and recovery for both the bird and that family member, and their relationship together is really beautiful. I rated it 5 stars. Magpies happen to be my favorite bird, so that didn't hurt. And the last book that I read in April was The Legend of Zelda, Art and Artifacts. This was actually a birthday gift, so I read it a couple days after my birthday, and it's just a really large book, and it's just filled with drawings and designs from the games. There is a little bit of reading at the end of the book where it has an interview with 4 of the current illustrators and designers for the Zelda franchise. So it was really interesting just to see how the visuals developed over the decades that the game has existed, and it felt really appropriate reading material because I have been playing Breath of the Wild pretty much constantly since I got it. The funny thing is, I was sick for almost a whole week and missed 4 days of work, and the game did not arrive until the day I went back to work. So I really wish I had ordered it like a week sooner so that I could have had something to do while I was sick. And of course, I rated this one 5 stars. So it has been nice not having that pressure on myself to get through a really big book, but I am going to try to focus more on getting through the one I started in March and moving on to the next one. And I say try because I still haven't beaten Breath of the Wild, and I'm just really enjoying it. I think it's my favorite game of all time, and I am planning to play it as soon as I'm done filming here. And while we're talking about birthday gifts, I will also mention that I got the unofficial Harry Potter cookbook, so I will probably be reading and looking through this pretty soon as well. As far as my goal for catching up with other things like YouTube videos and podcasts and TV, I did get caught up with YouTube while I was sick, and I'm getting a bit behind again because of Breath of the Wild, and I caught up with 2 of my TV shows, and 2 other ones I have a bunch of episodes to catch up on, and Doctor Who started, and I haven't even watched the first couple episodes of that yet. So I'm also super behind on podcasts, but I'm starting to listen to podcasts while cooking and cleaning instead of music, so hopefully I will get caught up on those soon, because I haven't even listened to S-Town yet because I'm that far behind. All in all, April was a really good month despite being sick, and it is very hard to believe that it's already May, and I've only read 3 big books, and only one of them was from my shelf. So I think that is everything that I have for how April went. And I think May will be a pretty good reading month and video game beating month. So tell me how your April in reading and other things went. Hopefully it was a good month for you guys too. And as always, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.